Welcome back. In this video I'm going to go over a feature of the SASS Premier system that has to do with club billing. And if you're after watching the video and you decide you would like to get into this portion of it, you're going to need to update to the latest version of the program. Because there's been a lot of modifications to that module since from the last version. If you don't have the annual maintenance, which allows you to get all the updates, send me a email and I will fire you off a maintenance agreement and you will be able to get back up to date. The maintenance also gives you tech support and both phone and online tech support. So, okay, well, let's get into the billing, club billing. Now, the club billing also, you don't have to send out statements if you don't want to. Setting up your club members can give you a good lots of help in some of the other areas of the program. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do when you're setting up what I call the club billing is in your match setup. We're going to go ahead and cancel that. I don't want to clear anything. In the section up here where it says club, all the club's name, address, city, state, and DIP, that information will go on to the billing statement. Now, there are billing statements in the SASS Premier directory. They're called billing letters that you can look at and modify, put your logos on them, do whatever you want with them. This information, if you choose to use it, can go on that statement. Okay, the next thing let's do is in your additional match option, you have an area for past due criteria. Now, what that's going to do is also on your billing statement, it's going to show when the dues are past due. And it also controls a couple other features, and I'll show you those later. Okay, once that is set up, what we're going to do now is go into our billing module, which is right here, and in the edit member types. Now what that is, that's your membership types, the type you're doing the billing is. So let's put in a few more here. And we'll see. Now there is a drop down list here that has the different billing frequencies, annual, monthly, so forth. Yeah, if this will be annual. And let's put in a couple more. And we'll say there, and we'll now also in those drop down, if you key in the first letter, it'll automatically jump to that start. So annual. Okay, let's put in a life, and we'll say there 500, and there was an L, so I'm going to punch an L, and let's put in family life, and 750. And we'll say life. Okay, now once that is, you've got those entered, let's exit out of that, exit this. Let's go into our event master, and I'm going to show you in here that when you entered those were entered into your event master, and this will I'll show you how that is used in a little while, but right now it also checks the exempt box. So anything that's checked will not show up on registration forms. If you send out a registration form that has your club events that you're going to give for the one of your matches, these won't show up. If you want them to show up, just uncheck them. Anything that you check will not show up on the packet labels and on the registration letters. Okay, so that's set up. So now let's exit out of this. Now what we need to do is put in our members. So let's go into the Edit Shooter Master file, And because we probably don't have any members set up, let's go in and say no. So what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and set myself up as a member. Okay, when that comes up, you have the option here, and let's say I'm a family member, okay? So I'm going to check the family member. Now, normally when a person joins the club, they pay, and depending on if it's an annual, they'll pay for the year. When you set up the system, it automatically adds a year to the dues date. If this was on a semi-annual, it would add 6 months to it. You can change these if you want. Now, I like to have the dues come due on the anniversary of them joining the club. And the reason for that is it spreads your revenue equally out during the year, and it's not all coming in at one time. You can modify this, change it to whatever you want. If you want your dues to come due on the 1st of June, just make this 601, and everything will come due on the 1st of June. So let's go ahead and do now. Because it's a family, and I have my daughter set up here. And if you double click on the family member, you have the option to edit the family member or remove it. So I'm just going to edit the family. And I'm going to show you what it's did. Once you've entered that, it's gone ahead and set her up as a member. It's put her in as a club member, family membership, dues date, and it also checked this box down here which says family member, part of the family plan. That way she is not going to end up getting a statement. And when I pay my dues, she will automatically be paid also. So okay, so let's go ahead and let's add a couple more. Let's go and say, and we're going to set her up, say as a life member. Let's put her in as a life member, and I'm going to make her also on the 6th, because I want to show you some of the things that happens on that. And let's go ahead and set up somebody else. Let's set up Holy Rider here, and we're going to make him an individual just to give us an idea, and we'll change him to the 6th. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up a couple more, and we'll do this as a family life, and I'm going to make this month 11. Okay. And oops, I messed up. There's not 31 days in November. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's set his. Now remember, even when you add it afterwards, if we double click on it, it will come up and set her up as part of the family plan. I'm going to enter just a couple more because I want to show you, and we'll go ahead and make this a family membership, and I'm going to make that 6, I'm going to make that 11 and 30. Okay, let's do one more, and let's do guy Sam here, and we're going to make him as a family member, and 6, 1 and 30. Okay, so now we've got our member set up, and let me show you what that does. If you go in now to edit the master and say you just want to look at those family, not your whole database, if you click on your yes to edit family members only, it's going to show those that are in the system. Okay, now the thing that I was talking about earlier, even if you don't want to do billing, you can still set up family members. And what that will allow you to do is in your special email, under the, and here you have the option to send to club members only. So if you wanted to send out notices to the club members of the meetings, or you need help setting up for the big match or anything, you could just go in, set up this, tell what it is, click on that button, and only those club members would get this statement. Now, of course, remember that this only works with Microsoft Outlook. Again, because Access, which the scoring system is written in, is a Microsoft product. This works very well with Outlook. If you don't have Outlook, you might want to think about getting it. I think it's not that bad, and it is a good mail. I guess you could call it a provider. And it, and if you need help setting it up, or my Outlook brings in, it brings in Comcast, Yahoo, Google, Gmail. It brings in all of them. Sometimes it's nice if you're using the scoring system a lot because there's so much in it that it might be worthwhile getting that. Okay, so once those are set up, we can go in. Let's go ahead and exit out of that. Now, you can get to your billing from two different places. You can get to it from your reports menu, or you can get to it from the main menu. If I go back here now and say we're going to, let's say our billing due report, and we'll do it completely. What this does, it gives us a report of each month. That's if we set it up, on the anniversary date, and it'll go through and give you who's billing, when they're due, how much is coming in, so you can look ahead and judge your revenue, what's coming in. Okay, so we exit out of that. Now, the thing we're going to want to do is print bills. So we'll go ahead and print the bills. Now, these are where you put in your billing letters, and I'm going to use letter 2, and we'll say month 10 and 2016. Now, we got our little spinning wheel here, and remember, when that starts spinning, it's usually because Microsoft is hiding a message behind the screen. You don't see it anyplace. Once again, if you hold the Alt key down and press the tab, you will see that it comes up, and that's what it is. That's the message, Microsoft Word. It's hidden back there and we can't see it. So now that option, this can be fixed so that doesn't come up. I leave it in mine so that I can show people what's happening. It requires a change to the registry in your Windows system. So if you're not comfortable with doing that, just remember the Alt tab. If you would like to take a look at that, there is a write-up. All you'd have to do is go in and do a Google search on opening this document, runs the following SQL statement command, and it will give you how to fix that. Okay, so I'm going to say yes to this. Okay, and then the letter. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the mail merge. I'm going to go up to mailings, go over to start mail merge. I like to do the step by step, and then we'll say next. Next. Okay, and here is mine. This can be anything. You can go in and modify this. This gives the executive board meetings. They give a lot. You can put your name. This information is filled in from the parameter table where I showed you. You put your club name and information in. Okay. Now down below, if you have badges, then you could put a badge number in here. It gives the name, the alias, SASS number, address, email. Annual membership expires on this date, and family membership is $75. The past due date is going to be 11/30. So that sets that 30 days past. Now, if you wanted to have this returned to a different address, go ahead and put the person or who you want it sent to and the address. You can do that and replace that down here. So you can modify this whichever way you want to, or create your own. If you have a problem creating and are not sure how to create these, let me know and I'll be more than happy to give you a hand. You can put your logo and all the different stuff up here. So let's go ahead and we'll just go ahead and cancel this. Okay, so we don't want to save it. You could also send those letters out if you have Outlook. You could fire those off and they would go out through the email if you had, like I said, if you have Outlook. Okay, now once you've sent the bills out, we could go ahead and do November's also, but you have the option in here when you're entering payments. Now, you can enter the payments just by checking on the box, and it'll put the today's date in, and then allow you to put like a check number or whatever over here. The other thing that you can do, let's get to complete. Say that you're running a monthly match, and one of your a guy wants to pay his dues. So let's go ahead and bring in Tex. He was one of ours, and if we check on this, it's going to say that Shooter Tex club dues are due. Oh, well, yes, they are. He was due on 8/30. So you could ask him, do you want to pay your dues? If he does, then it's just a matter of going in and going into the event master, picking out the membership, which he is an annual member or family member. You can also pick out whatever else he wants to do. Say maybe he wants to take a refresher course, whatever, and then just go ahead and exit. Now you'll notice that it did pay. He's now due 1 year from today, from when his dues were due. 1 year from his dues, and he was paid on this date. Now, if we look at Kat and click on her, here's another thing that you can do in this. If it shows her as being paid also, and mark. And now, if you go in and check her and register her into the shooting, you'll notice that it says to group automatically. It says group with the previous shooter. So, because thinking that it's a family member, they wanted to. If you don't want it, then just uncheck it. But if we do that, it puts Kat in with Tex. But if you look at Kat, double click. Remember, double clicking brings those up. If you look at Kat, it's going to show her as being with Tex. So what it does, it sets up the posse with automatically for you. Nice little feature. Okay, so that's one way that we can pay the dues. If I came in, let's go ahead and register another shooter. None 0411. And I set up for the match, and I was saying, well, I'm not past due, but I'm due today, so let me pay my dues. I'm not gonna be shooting, and I'm gonna go in and pay my dues. Family, I think it was set up. I can't remember. Yeah, I'm set up as a family. Okay, so I set up the family, paid the dues. You should go ahead and mark over here your amount paid, just so that you can keep your track. And say Dana's not with me today, but if we look at her, you will see again that she was paid. Shows that she was paid, and when she was paid. Of course, she didn't owe anything because she's part of the family member plan. Okay, so that fixes that up. Now, when we get out of this, and now when you're ready, you can do a deposit report, and it's going to mark deposits as okay. You could look at them and see, I'm going to say no to this right now so we can bring it up, but it shows the 2 people that paid. And once you mark them as okay, they have been checked so that they don't show up again the next time you do a deposit. So if we go in now and say we're going, let's do these 2, and maybe pay with a check, and let's go ahead and Silver Fern paid her life membership. Now I wanted to show you something when on Silver Fern here, so we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get out of it. Let's go in and take a look at Silver Fern. We'll edit the members only. Now, if you'll look at her, it shows her being paid, but her next due date, because she's a life member, it adds 50 years to the membership. So I figure 50 years is probably more than someone's going to be into the club billing. So if you need more than that, then you could put 99 in there, whatever you want. But that just goes ahead and show you, and it also shows her as being paid and so forth. So now if we were to exit out of that and go back and look at our deposit report, now remember we cleared the other one, so it's only showing the 2 that we paid. So this is a nice way of knowing that this is how much money you've collected to go in on the club billing for your deposit. Also, if you were to run the event report, and I'm going to go ahead and say no to recalculating that report. Okay, and then if we go ahead and say let's print the complete report out, we don't have an expense, but if we look at the summary, you will see that we had 2 memberships billings, and did we have, yeah, the 2 memberships, the Saturday night dinner, the R01 course. Remember, this event billing only does those that were paid through the registration side. It doesn't automatically pay, even though, if we were looking at in the bill in this section, it doesn't put those into your event master, because you could be doing this on a regular basis rather than without a match coming in. But if you wanted, this is where you can you get your deposit report, and you can see what that is and so forth. Okay. Let me think. I think that's pretty much takes care of most of the billing section. There are, some nice features in the billing. Like I said, you don't need to go in and do the billing itself. You can just go ahead and set up the individuals. Now, you could print out bills for November. I like to print the bills 1 month ahead of time. I normally go in and say and this is November, I would go ahead and print out December's bills usually a month ahead. That way the members get their statement, you know, ahead of time, where they have time to pay it and get it in. So if you do it on you know, once a year, then you set them out once a year and do them all at one time. Remember, you can you can do let's do the month 11. We've got some of those in there. I wanted to show you the feature about, we got our spinning wheel again. If we tab over, Alt. Now, remember, in this mailing, you can go ahead and do your merge, get everything set up. You can also go into your mailings and do your finish and merge and send email. You pick out who it's going to. You pick out the email address. You can put, you know, billing club dues statement, and you can send it as an attachment, whatever. Then when you say just click that. If you have Outlook, it's going to send these out, bang, 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 to each individual. Now, one of the things that I'm going to cancel that, and one of the things that Microsoft has done to protect us from ourselves is to, when you're sending out big chunks of, say you're sending out 50 or 75 emails, they have that little feature that says, you know, allow. Do you want to allow this to go out? You say, I'm going to set this up for so many minutes, and it comes every time it sends out a message that says, do you want to allow this one to be sent? And you have to say yes. There is a little program called Click Yes No. I put it into my system because I like the feature. Let me see if I even have it here. I guess I don't have it on right now. It's not set up. If it was in here, I would just open it up and it sets it up, and then it automatically adds the yes to it. So instead of you sitting there and clicking yes 75 times or whatever you're sending out, the little click yes no does it automatically. If you're interested, let me know. I can send you the little program or send you the link to it. I find there's no viruses or anything in it. It's just a nice little program. I use it a lot because I send out lots of emails. Okay, well, I guess that should do it. If you're interested, like I said, give me a holler. You'll need to get the latest update, and I can send you the link for that. Other than that, if you don't have the maintenance, once again, I'd be more than happy to send, if you send me an email, I'll fire you off a maintenance agreement and we can get you caught up to the latest version. Okay, thanks for watching. Any of your comments would be appreciated. Okay, goodbye.